Okay, this is day 8 for our road to 3 million sales on Amazon, 500,000 sales, 500,000 sales on Walmart for 2024. Day 8, so we have gotten a head start. So my wife and I have sold $6.3 million in Amazon since the beginning of 2019. We decided to share our journey on 2024 as we tried to get the elusive 3 million sales in 1 year. The last few years, we've averaged between like 1.8 and 2 million. So you guys are seeing us hopefully hit 3 million on Amazon in 2024, and you'll be able to see what it takes. So now that we've seen this, I did want to say, so when I started this a couple weeks ago, I took a couple days off from break. It was like 6.2 million. So when I go through and show you this screen, you'll actually be able to see the additional revenue and profit as it ticks up. I might not do it every day, but every once in a while I'll do this screen and you can kind of see just it going up as it throughout the year, and I think that's kind of cool. So this was my day today. It started down here and then went up. So we got a late start to the day. We just got back from travels yesterday. So we slept in, spent some time with us and chilled. And then I had to go to the bank and wire some money. That was about 40 minutes round trip. I did go to Walmart and did some groceries and stuff, but I just counted 40 minutes for the bank. That was ultimately the reason why I had to go out. I can typically do it from home, but the buddy that allows me to do it from home, he was not in office today, so I definitely had to go do it. And then today was mostly easy day. 4:30 or so, I actually started working with the prep center. They still had, I think, 3 or 4 more things that I had to work on. I asked for some UPC, so then I created a Walmart listing on one. One of them, I didn't know what the UPC was, so I needed the UPC so I could figure out what to do with it. And I ended up having them ship that to Amazon. And then the other one, I thought I needed the UPC, but it was actually on October's list. So I created that Walmart listing and they're gonna send it to Walmart. That figure. Overall, we were kind of talking back and forth for like an hour and a half. But I only counted 25 minutes because it only took me probably 10-15 minutes to create all those listings and stuff. And then the rest of the time it was just kind of chatting back and forth over other random things, and then also meeting. We're gonna meet together next week and schedule or kind of discuss 2024 goals, what I'll need them to do, what they need me to do, and then hopefully make sure that they can accommodate me growing a little bit more in 2024 and what they need from me to do that. And then I'll also talk to them about doing some RA, like if I go there and shop and fill the van, could I drop some RA off with them? So then on the rest of the day, I can just fill the fan again and come home. I know previously when my wife and I would go RA, the van only typically holds about $5,000 to $6,500 worth of cogs. Which on really good days that fills up in like 2 or 3 or definitely 4 Walmarts. So I've talked to them about that. And then once again, long, not very productive day, but about 9:30, 9:45 is when I really got with it. Started sourcing OA Walmart. Spent $1,251 in about 30 to 40 minutes. The about $500 or $600 was a replan that I just needed to buy more of. And then the other $700 So when you shop at Walmart, you need to scan your receipt with your Walmart app to put it into your Walmart profile. That way, if somebody says it's inauthentic or something, you've got all that stuff right there. You can just pull it from the Walmart app or Walmart. I always use put it on the Walmart app on the phone, and then I use the Walmart webpage on the computer. You can just print that out, send it to Amazon, and then they'll say, oh yeah, it's authentic or new or whatever, and you'll win that case super easy. You just scan it, you just scan the UPC or put the UPC in. So even if you have 1,000 receipts, you just put the UPC in and it will show you which receipts that product is in. Super helpful, super easy. But then also, so let's say if you buy 30 different items on Walmart, you can go through each of those items on a computer and you can see if Walmart has it in stock on OA. And this is what I did over the last month or so of purchases. And there was, I think, 2 or 3, but I can only remember one. One of them I bought 25 of, it cost $10. We make $4 or $5 a piece. So that's $100. It'll ship to us. It'll take no more than 2 or 3 minutes to label them and stick them in a box and ship them. So that gets it up to like 800-900. I don't remember what the ones are, but they were stuff that we purchased in the last month or so, RA, and we did that. This is one of the biggest things that would have helped us excel early on. When we were shopping GameStop in 2019, we would buy like plushes and we'd find like 1 or maybe 2 per store, and we'd try to hit like 20 stores in a day if we were at like a big city like St. Louis. But if we were going to a small city like Tulsa or something like that, we'd try to hit like 20 or 30 in a weekend, because we'd have to go to like 2 or 3 different cities. We go to try to hit a couple Friday night, and we'd hit a couple Saturday and a couple Sunday. We'd try to hit like 20 or 30 that weekend. So we'd hit like 30 or 40, get like 30 or 40 plushes, hopefully, right? That was our goal. But in 2020, I realized, or 2021, I realized you could just go on GameStop.com and buy them online. So there was some stuff from GameStop in 2020 we were buying like 200 of. We would place 40 orders of 5 each, and you'd buy 200 of them, and they would all ship to your house. That is what I wish we had did earlier on, and now I'm taking advantage of. Most stores is when I find it in the RA, I go online and see if I can buy more of it. And not all of it can, right? So sometimes you find stuff at Walmart clearance, RA, or it's assorted, so you can't buy it online, right? Because you'll get one of the ones that aren't worth it. Clearance, or just manager markdowns, or it's discontinued or something like that. So RA is still better, but you can definitely improve and maximize your RA by going to the online store and seeing if they have any available that you can just quickly purchase. So that has helped our business tremendously over the last 2 or 3 years. And one reason why we took the step from 700,000 to 1.8 million with like very little extra manpower, if any. So that's huge. And then I got distracted. Actually, I was wanting to just keep sourcing OA, but I got distracted and I realized I was needing to lower all my minimums to 20% ROI. I think I had about 200 to 300 listings that were still elevated above 20% ROI. Some of them was just divine tags, which means SellerSnap is horrible at repricing when you've got no competition. They'll just like lower the price. SellerSnap is amazing, but that is one thing I cannot stand about them. So if like there's nobody selling it and you're trying to sell it for $70, they'll be like, hey, let's sell it for $30, because that's what Amazon sold it for 6 months ago. Nope, that's not. So we had maybe out of the listings, maybe half of them or 2/3 of them were that. and a good portion of them now have competition. So I lowered them to 20%. Some of them were out of stock stuff that came back into stock replenished from like 6 months ago when we had our minimum at 25%. So I lowered those to 20%. And then maybe like 5 or 10 listings were stuff that I was still trying to hold out for Q4 at like 50, 70% ROI. And I just went ahead and lowered them to 20%. That way, if they start dropping in price or anything, I don't have to worry about not being able to sell it because my minimum is too low. I still have, I think, between 10 and 15 listings that my minimum is above 20%. But those are like discontinued items or items you can't purchase anymore that we are currently selling for more. And I don't have many of them. I think there's one of them that we have like 170 of. And I'm priced like $2 or $3 above buy box. It's like 200% ROI. But when you get the buy box, even now we're selling a couple a day, but when you get the buy box and there's not many people competition, you'll sell like 10 a day. It's ranges between 10,000 and 50,000 Rankin toys, just for those people that know ranks, so that it sells super quick. And we bought them for $350 and they were selling for like 17, 18, $16. So the ROI is crazy. Even if it doesn't sell in the next couple of months, we can still lower it down to what is currently selling at and still make 200%. But I'd like to make the extra $2, $3 per for the 160. So that's an extra $400 or $500 profit. Just holding out by another month or so. And then after that, took a little bit of a break, went down, got a banana, chilled, spent time with the family, and then I did wholesale. Our inventory is really low. I think inbound and everything, it's like 150,000. And before I can look, I don't know why I always do this. At the end of November, actually, it was 199,000 right there. 199,000 was at Amazon or being inbound to Amazon. That is now like 150 or 160,000. And then on that 150, 160,000, only 130,000 is actually active. The other 20,000 that has been received, so like 150, 155,000. The other 20,000 is on back order. Amazon is switching it through FC transfer. And then there's like 5,000 in COGS that are being shipped to Amazon. All our stuff last week, I believe, has been received. So we just had this box that we shipped out today. And that's not counting the prep center one, I don't believe. Because that's LTL and it won't show up, I think, until I pick it up or something. Not when they just finalized the shipment yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So inventory is extremely needed right now. I think we've got, well, we had $55,000 in money that we need spent on COGS, and I think we're getting ready to get paid like we're getting paid almost 7,000 a day, so 49,000. So that's $100,000 that we need to spend on COGS that we're behind on. Yeah, so I have a lot of sourcing to do. But I just spent 10,000 tonight. Hopefully I'll finish this wholesaler tomorrow and we'll get up to about 20 to 25,000 on this wholesaler. The good and bad thing about this wholesaler though is they keep very little inventory in stock. So you have to place a lot of back orders, and those back orders take anywhere from 2 weeks to a month and a half to be received. So that is the bad thing about this is I spent $8,500, but I only have about, of this 8,500, only about 2,000 we will receive either the end of next week or the week after. They are super quick shippers. especially when they ship through UPS. If the order is small enough, and $2,000 that probably will come through UPS because they have multiple warehouses. So that's going to be multiple small shipments. But once I triple that order, it might be LTL. But even then, it's always that LTL is always within like a week and a half or so. Much better than the other wholesalers I deal with, which is one reason why I'm really wanting to grow this wholesaler. We just started using them like 3 months ago. And they are already 1% of all our sales since 2019. I think just in November and the beginning of December, or mid-November to beginning of December, we spent like $30,000 with them. So they were like a third of our inventory. That we over a third of our inventory we purchased over like a month, a 30-day span. And we've not sourced them at all for Walmart. So that is one of our VA's tasks once they get off from vacation. They're on paid leave right now to enjoy the holidays. But once they get back on the first of the year, then they will be working on that. Other than that, that's everything that I did today. Very I wouldn't say it's unsuccessful because I spent 10 grand. And if we're going for 3.5 million next year, we gotta spend like 30 grand a month or 30 grand a week. So this is like a third of my weekly thing just in like 3 hours of work, 2 hours of OA. But there was a lot of not working time on there. Spending 3 hours a day for the rest of 2024 is not going to get us $3 million in sales, because it doesn't always come this easy. All this, even the $8,500 on the wholesaler, was mostly replens. I was going through the stuff and like, yep, I need $1,000 of this. I need $1,500 of this. I need $300 of this. But I am about probably 50% done with our reorder sheet. And the best products on the reorder sheet I've already done. So there's nothing else I'm going to be spending like $1,500 on. So it's just going to get slower and slower for that wholesaler. I've got 2 other wholesalers I need to buy from, and then I'm also wanting to hit RA really hard this year, so I will be doing some RA. But while we have all this capital, there's no reason to do too much RA right now because we're getting paid more than I could spend in RA, right? Like $6,000 a really good day for RA, like a 8-hour day for RA, spend 6,000 or 7,000 be like our best day ever RA. And that's just not going to cut it unless I were to do RA every day of the week or 5 days a week. But then all of a sudden we don't have time. I don't have time to do all the other stuff I need to do, nor is it getting it prepped, processed, and out the door. So this is where some of the OA comes in. Super nice. This OA, this Walmart OA is coming to our warehouse, and this wholesaler has free shipping, so it's coming to our warehouse as well. But one of the other 2, actually I need 3 wholesalers, but one of the other 2 that I was mentioning earlier, it will hopefully be another large order. Last year they were our main wholesaler, and I'll ship them directly to the prep center so we don't have anything to do with them. So for Saturday, the 30th, basically, the goal is to finish sourcing this wholesaler, hopefully, and Walmart's done. Source that wholesaler, hopefully finish. I may not because I also want to actually manually source it. That's how we find most of our good products. Everybody does all the AMZ Analyzer and Tactical Arbitrage and stuff, and then all those people race to the bottom. You get 50 people on a listing, but it's the listings that, or it's the items that don't show up on Tactical Arbitrage and AMZ Analyzer are the ones that you get 200-300% on ROI and make $5,000 to $10,000 on. They're rare, but we had a couple of those last year. We had probably, I can look it up, but I can't show it. We'll say we had 5 listings, 5 ASINs at least, that we made at least $3,000 on with at least 200% ROI. We'll say that. I can look at that in the future, but I just can't share all the ASINs that we're selling. But yeah, that it's all the manual stuff is this where the money is. The Tactical Arbitrage, and we don't use TA anymore, but the AMZ Analyzer is nice because you can find a couple of like, okay, this is decent 30, 40, 50% ROIs. It sells a couple days, a couple times a month or a couple times a week. But it's not the home runs. We never get home runs from there. Just because there's so much competition because everybody else is doing that too. So that is on the docket for Saturday, the 30th. And then that is all. I do plan on doing a video for like the previous week on like just their weekend review. So you may want to look out for that. And if you appreciate or if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. The subscription will allow you to see or all the other videos coming out will be recommended to you more often. So you can keep track of us. I hope you guys had a really successful December 29th in preparation for 2024. Hopefully you guys have a little more time with family over the holidays before it gets really busy with the 2024. Hopefully you guys aren't having too many returns. I'm not really been paying attention to that, but I have noticed that our sales are starting to go back up. But I think that may have something to do with it now being away from Christmas, so it's kind of back to normal. But then also, like a few days ago, maybe before we took a break, we were like $112,000, $113,000 in active inventory, available inventory, and now we're 130,000 available inventory. So I think that's probably it. But today I think we're only going to get like $6,500 to $6,800 in sales, which is still not good because if we did that all year, we'd only get 2.5 million. So yeah, we need it quite a bit higher. But when you only have $130,000 in active inventory and $100,000 that you need to spend on inventory, we're looking pretty good. Scott put in the work. So hopefully tomorrow, the video that I post, it will be very full of sourcing OA with some really high spend numbers. That is the goal. But if you have any questions or want me to discuss anything or got any problems or anything, put them in the comments below. The first couple of videos I did, there was a couple of questions, so I answered them in the next video. But these last videos, people are just watching a good portion of it. The watch time, watch percentage is actually pretty decent. And there's a couple thumbs ups, but there's not as many comments as the previous videos. Have a good one and take care.